Hello everyone, welcome back to the Hack the Box starting series. Today we're doing the box vaccine from the tier 2. I've already ran an nmap scan just because of how much time it can take to run prior to actually starting the video. TAC SV, TAC SC for versions and scripts, TAC P TAC for all ports, and then I'll put it into this file. There's a couple open ports. We have FTP, port 21, which got anonymous login allowed there. We have port 22, SSH, and we have port 80, which is HTTP. And it seems it's running Apache. So first thing we're going to do is log into the FTP that we saw, the anonymous login. Anonymous at the IP address, and then anything for the password, doesn't matter. Go ahead and list and see what's in here. We have a file called backup.zip. Gonna go ahead and get that to our own machine. Now we can exit the FTP server. We're gonna go ahead and try to unzip this backup.zip file. And it's password protected. So what we're gonna do here is try different passwords, just default passwords and common passwords. Like admin, password with a @ Didn't seem that any is working though, so what we can also do is use a script called zip2john, which will create a hash from the zip file. We'll go to the help menu and see the syntax. I don't exactly remember if I need to add anything for the syntax or if I can just put the file in there. Put our file in there, and then we're gonna echo it into a file called hash.txt. Cat that out, and there's our hash. Now that we have that hash from that zip file, we can go ahead and try to crack it with John. For the word list, I'm just going to use rocku.txt, which can be found in the user, share, and word list directory. And then I'm going to put the file, hash.txt, where our hash is stored, and it cracked. Pretty quick, actually. So our password is a number, a long number. So now we can unzip this file using the password we just got from John. And there we go. Now we can look inside of the PHP file and hopefully find something that'll help us advance further. Like a password or some username. I see password. I don't actually see the password though. Should be in here somewhere. Oh, there it is. Admin and password. Password actually looks like a hash itself. What we can do is also we can grep out password if we needed to. If we're having trouble finding it, let's say it was a longer file, more text in there, we could use grep to find that as well. Grep and then a keyword. So now we have the hash, we can go ahead and try to identify it with hash ID. Paste that in there, and it gives us a couple different possibilities, but from just prior knowledge, it looks like an MD5 hash. And now we can use either Hashcat or John to crack this. I'm going to try using John first. If John, I'm just going to use it with the default syntax. Might use Hashcat. I haven't used Hashcat in a little while. Now that we have that hash, we can echo it into a .txt file. Let's call it hash2.txt. Use John again with the same word list and our hash2.txt file. Give that a moment to run, and I don't think it found anything. Yeah, I don't think it found anything. We could use John tac show with the file name to see if it actually found it or not. It'll show us if any cracked passwords for that file. And yet, no passwords are cracked. And since that didn't crack, we can try using Hashcat now. I'm going to use -s help because I can't remember the exact syntax we need to use for this, for MD5. hashcat tac A 0, tac M 0, and then our word list and our file. So we're going to use rocky.txt once again, and then we're going to add our hash2.txt file. Hope we have better luck with hashcat than we did John. It may take a second to run, so I'll give that a moment. Still running, still running. And it's finished. Let's see if it was able to crack it. And yes, QWERTY789 is the hashed password. So now that we have this password, we can try to go check out the last port we haven't enumerated yet, which would be HTTP. So HTTP and then the IP address. Gotta grab that. And we have a login page. Now we can try using the credentials we gathered from the zip file. The username, what was the username for that? Try grep username from index. No, it wasn't in there. Oh, there, yep, admin. Duh. So we get to log into the admin account. Yep, we get to log into the admin account. And we have a catalog. Megacorp card catalog. We can try testing the search parameter. A test to see if it gives us anything. You can also see the search parameter in the address bar. First thing I normally do is test for user input sanitization, so we can see if it will pop any errors by putting in like commas, pluses, or equations. And there we go. We get an error, which indicates possible SQL injection. Go ahead and turn to SQLMap, just because it makes our lives a million times easier when it comes to SQL injection. SQLMap -- help, and we get the possible syntaxes we can use with SQLMap. We're going to need to use the -u for the URL, and then the -- cookie, and we'll need to grab the actual HTTP cookie that we need to use for that. So SQLMap -u, grab our URL. Go ahead and change out the search parameter real quick. Just put test with a 2 semicolons, or not semicolons, but your single quote. And then we need to use HTTP, and then we need to add our cookie parameter as well. So cookie cookie equals, and then it was capital PHP sess ID equals. Quotation, or quotations. Just making sure everything's good. Add our quote before the PHP sess ID, and now we need to grab our cookie. We can do that with Burp Suite actually. So I'm gonna go ahead and fire up Burp Suite. Burp Suite makes this process very simple though. We just intercept an HTTP request from the web server, and it should have our cookie inside of it. Go to proxy, and we can open up a browser here if it works. It doesn't seem to want to open. No problem though. We can also do this with our, yeah, it's not working. We can also do this with our browser we're already using. We just go to settings, Scroll down until we get to settings, click on that. We're gonna use manual proxy configuration, put our loop address, and then port 8080 is what we're using for the proxy. And now if we just go over here to proxy, intercept is on, and refresh our request, there we go. We have our cookie. I'm gonna go ahead and copy this and send it over to SQLMap. And now SQLMap should tell us if its search parameter is vulnerable or not to SQL injection, which we know from manual enumeration that it is. Oh, a bit of error here with the burp suite. Probably need to close that down, as well as yeah, it's still giving errors. Let's see. I might need to stop the proxy. Go back to settings and we'll change that back to no proxy. And we didn't get anything, maybe because we still have burp suite proxy configured for burp suite. I think I had the right syntax for it. Let's see. Let's run it again. Oh. I think maybe we need to add oh, there it is. So the cookie. We forgot to put a space there, so that was our issue. Now SQLMap should run like it's supposed to and tell us if the search parameter is vulnerable. We'll just wait for that to finish. SQLMap will make our life a lot easier, especially in this next part if it tells us that the search parameter is indeed vulnerable to injection. It's vulnerable, yes, and it finished. So as we can see, it says the get parameter search is indeed vulnerable. So now we can move on to the next part, and we can go back to the help menu, and we're going to use the OS shell parameter to try to pop a shell on the machine through that vulnerable search parameter. So all we have to do is add the OS shell at the end, and there we go. We have a shell now. We're going to see who we're running as on the system, and running as Postgres. So this isn't the ideal shell we would like. So what we can do is look up a quick reverse shell for this. Go to Google and we type in bash reverse shell, since we know it is a Linux system. And we can see we might have one right here, reverse shell, bash, TCP. Yeah, I believe that's the one we want to use. Go ahead and grab that, copy it, and paste it in here. Now we just need to change the IP address and specify the port I want to use. I'm going to go and use port 1234. Go over to the next window, make that a bit bigger for you guys, and we're going to grab our IP address. I have two tunnels running right now, I guess. I think it's tunnel 0 that we're using right now. So we can go ahead and paste that in there. And we can start our netcat listener in another window. Looks good. Now we can run that. And in case of data retrieval, it did not work. We must have messed up the syntax. let's see, bash dash I. We'd also try passing the command to bash as a bash command. Let me see if it works with that. Put our quotation marks there, and we can run it again. And hope we get a shell this time. It doesn't look like it's working though. Yeah, no. We don't have a reverse shell. We can't pass any commands. Connection timed out to target. Run our SQLMap again with the same syntax. Grab our reverse shell. Change the IP address. Stop our netcat listener. It also could have been, we'll use port 4242. Yeah, it's fine for the port. Change the IP address. IFconfig. But it also could be that we're not using the right IP address here. Let me see, packet, receive packet. That might have been what it was. We were using the wrong IP address. So let's start our netcat listener again. This time we're going to use port 4242. And then if we run this, we should get our reverse shell now. There we go. We got our reverse shell as Postgres on the vaccine machine. As you can see, we can list the contents of the directory we're in using ls. Let's go ahead and change directories over to the HTML directory. See if we missed anything from the website. Since this was our entry vector, we can start here with enumeration. Let's see, dashboard.cs, dashboard.js, dashboard.ps. Try using cat. We can cat everything and then try to grep something we're looking for out of this. And something. We had an exit. We exit our shell. We can try running it again. Run SQLMap again. Not sure why that died on us. Run our reverse shell again. Change the IP address. Well, we gotta grab our IP address again, ifconfig, and we're using ton1. Paste that in there. Hopefully our shell will remain a bit more stable this time. Not sure why it died. Do you want a command? Yes. And there we go. We have our reverse shell again. That's Postgres. We're going to change directories into HTML and continue where we left off. Just want to cat everything out. Cat star. And then we're going to pipe it over to grep. And grep the password. Standard binary input matches. I think I ran the right syntax for that. Let's see. Password. Still not working. We can just try grepping. I'm not sure why that didn't run. We can just try a specific file. We haven't seen dashboard.php yet. That PHP file. So we cat it out. I'm looking for anything interesting in here that may help us move forward. May give us a bit more information. I'm not seeing anything, so I'm gonna go ahead and go for a specific keyword. Dashboard.php. Password. And there we go. We have a username and password, Postgres with the password. Awesome. And now what we can do is try to get a secure shell. We can try logging in through SSH. and hoping that that password will work for the account. So we're gonna use SSH Postgres at our IP address. Do you want to continue? Yes. And then grab that password, paste in there, and we should have a secure shell as Postgres. Oh, permission denied. Maybe that's not the password. Did I copy that right? Password. Oh, I think I grabbed the quotation. I think I grabbed a quotation mark there. Should just be password with an exclamation point. And there we go. We have our user.txt. We can go ahead and grab that now. And I just realized that we haven't been answering any of the questions. So what we can do is go ahead and start answering those. So I'm going to cat out all those files and try grepping TCP from them, and we're running the same issue. Binary file matches. I don't think I'm using that syntax right. We can just try doing grep TCP out of all. Yeah, and that seems to work. So besides SSH and HTTP, we had FTP running. And we know that the username we used to log in FTP was anonymous. We know the file that we downloaded was called backup.zip. What comes with John the Ripper? Oh, that's going to be zip to John is what we use for that. What is the password? The admin user account. Oh, what was that password that we used for that? Let me scroll up real quick and just grab the password that we used to log into the admin account. Where is it? Where is it? It's somewhere up here. That's the hash password. What was that password? Oh yes, QWERTY789, that's right. Super simple, don't know why I forgot that. Submit. What option can we pass? SQLMap. That would be the -tac os tac shell. What program run is not using sudo? Okay, so here we go. This is kind of where we're at now. Go back to our secure shell. Go ahead and run sudo-l. Excuse me, tac-l. Grab that password for Postgres account. And we can see that it's V. And now we can submit our user.txt. So our user Postgres is able to run V as sudo, which is probably going to be our point of privilege escalation. And we can run a .config file, it seems. What we can do is we can go over to Google and search up privilege escalation for V. And we're going to check hack tricks to see if they have anything. Actually, I think it'd probably be better to use GTFO bins. So let's type in GTFO bins V. And let's see. Sudo. This is probably what we're going to want to use. If the binary allowed to run a super user, which we are allowed to run a super user. Let's see, shell. We're probably going to want to use sudo for this. Maintain privilege access, the file system, escalate, maintain privilege access. May not drop those videos. So let's go ahead and copy that, and let's see. User progress not execute the HTB Vaccine. What did I? Oh, I guess the user can only run that .config file as sudo with V. So we might need to use the shell up here. Might be our alternative, a working alternative to the sudo. So let's go ahead and try that out. We're going to use V. And then we're going to run the shell commands, the V shell commands. Copy that. and then we use type semicolon. Can't remember the, oh, there it goes. Shift semicolon, and then we're gonna type in the command. Set shell equals -bin -sh, and then we hit enter on that, and then we're gonna semicolon again, and we're gonna type in shell, and we're still Postgres. Let's see. Maybe I'm forgetting something here. Let's go and try V again. The same thing. No. Oh, okay. And still, oh, we probably need to actually run what we're allowed to run. But we have privileges to run in sudo, so we probably need to run that .conf file and then do it from within the .config file. Oh, we're forgetting sudo. Duh. Duh moment. So the whole point of that was to run it with sudo privileges. So now that we've run it as sudo, we can go in and input the same commands to the same shell commands. And I messed that up. Let me go back in there and paste that. Delete that extra semicolon, enter, and then shell, and we have root privileges on the machine now, on the vaccine machine. There's our flag. Thanks everyone for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe, and let me know if you have any questions.